sliding, it's a homicide.
Hey, what's up guys, welcome back to another video. Now today I wanted to show you guys the mining rig that I built. It's been running for almost a year now, and I just want to update you guys on basically hashing. So first things first, I have 3 3070s full hash rate and one 3060. Again, this is the reversion, the first reversion, so the developer drivers would definitely work. If I were to put this in Windows, I would get the full hash rate with a dummy drive, but because I'm running in Linux, I'm getting close to around I'd say 38 or 3940 mega hash, which is pretty decent. So let's start with this. So this is my Zotac 3070. This one is actually pretty good, even though it's much smaller in size compared to all the other ones I have. It is a workhorse. It's been pretty good. This one is a Asus KO edition. This is probably my best 3070 that I have over here. Again, full hash rate, getting around 62 to 63 mega hash on this one. This over here, this is the 3060 Asus Tough edition. This one is pretty good. This is the first reversion, so I was pretty lucky getting that. And over here, this is probably the I wouldn't say the worst 3070 that I have, but this is the was it Gigabyte Eros 3070 Master Edition. This probably costs the most out of all of them because of how big it is, the cooling and everything. Let me just show you guys the difference. So this is the Zotac. Runs pretty good, very small form factor. Then you have something as big as this. So there is a huge size difference between the two, right? But this one does stay cool, which is great. The only issue is I can only get, let's say, 61 mega hash or 60 mega hash. So it all depends. It's not that bad. This usually stays maybe 5 to 6 degrees cooler, Celsius cooler than the Zotac. And all the other cards, this is probably the coolest one, but it does thermal throttle a lot if you were to push it. So I'm going to show you the my Hive OS, and you will see that this is probably the worst 3070 that's full hash rate out of these three. The 3060 is pretty good. This also stays pretty cool. So these two are my coolest cards, but these two are basically my workhorse. So for those that are curious what I'm powering this, it's a Corsair 850X power supply, and I'm running 2 of those. So the other one is over there. I'm just using a very cheap 8 gigabyte RAM right here, and then the CPU is just a 9th gen i5. The motherboard itself, I think it's the MSI Z3090 Pro A Pro, I believe. It's just the one with the around 5 PCIe slots. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4 of the PCI, the small ones, and then you have the full one where you can also put another graphics card. So that's what I'm planning to do, hopefully in the future. I do have around 1 slot, and these are pretty much the coolest GPUs that I have. So putting one in the middle would pretty much even out the temperatures across. And I also have another 3070. So this is my full hash rate build. So 3 3070s full hash rate, 1 3060 reversion 1. So I'll count that as a full hash rate card. I also have another mining rig. Let me just show you that one. All right, as you can see, we got the 3080 Ti over here, Gigabyte, and we have the EVGA X C3 edition 3070. So this is of course the LHR one, which kind of sucks. You get around 44 mega hash. This one, they all come in light hash rate anyways. So because this is LHR, you're getting around, with T-Rex, I'm getting around 88 mega hash on Ethereum. I can boost it up to 92, but it does get pretty hot, and I don't want the fans to be running at 100%. And it's not as stable as I'd like it to be. So that's why I keep it at 88. And it's doing pretty good. It's staying around 55 degrees Celsius. I will show that in Hive OS, which is fine. but this is probably the hottest card that I have, and I don't want to, overcook it. The motherboard, it's just a basic motherboard. I was looking for the MSI Z390, but didn't have, so I just went along with this one. Hopefully in the future when I do add more cards to it, so for this rig I'm specifically only targeting LHR cards, as those are the easiest to get, and I'm probably gonna put like 1 or 2 here. And I might have to change the motherboard because, as you can see, there's only like around 3, if it can focus, there's around only 3 PCIe slots that you can use. So I'm already using 2, and I can use this long one as well. I think this is the X16. So what I'm powering it with is a RM850X. So it's basically the same power supply. This is just a white version from Corsair. And when I do get to other cards that I'm going to put here and here, I'm probably going to be looking for a 3080 Ti, only because since we are dealing with LHR cards now, if I'm getting 3070s run very cool, but for the size, I guess, just to save space, I'm probably gonna go with the 3080 Ti. I'm already getting 44 mega hash on this, and I'm gonna get around 88 on this. So it kind of makes sense to just get 2 more 3080 Ti's. But what I'm also going to do is add a HP power supply here, or a server PSU. That way I can plug in as much PCIe cables as I want. As you can see here, I have 3 PCIe cables going from the Corsair into here. It looks kind of messy, I do understand, but I didn't want to put splitters on the 3080 Ti when I first got it because of how hot it runs. If all the 3070s pull in around maybe 112 to 115 watts, this one takes around 280, but I've seen it jump to around 300. So I didn't want to risk it. I just put as much PCIe cables as I could with this, as I didn't have a lot of space anyways, and I had a lot of ports. But when I do get the other 3080 Ti's, I'm just gonna get a HP server power supply and just add all the single PCIe cables without needing to split it. So these are the splitters. You probably saw it on the last rig as well. And I didn't want to do that with any other 3080 Ti's, as they do take a lot of watts. You don't want to burn cables and cause a fire hazard. Okay, so we're here on the computer now. I'm on my Hive OS. So both rigs, they can make around 355 mega hash on Ethereum. We're pulling at around 831 watts. One thing to know when it comes to NVIDIA cards, they're pretty, I wouldn't say accurate, but they're really close to what's displayed on Hive, whereas AMD cards, you would add like maybe 50 to 100 watts more for each card. So let's go through this. So this is the farm. Let's go with the first rig that I have. So this is the one with the 3 3070s and 1 3060s. I'm running all 3 on T-Rex for the 3070s, and for the 3060 I'm running it on LolMiner version 1.34. It is using the developer driver for it. So as you can see, the rig is pretty stable for a while now. Even with all these invalid shares, we're looking at around 98.98% uptime anyways, or sorry, 99.99, what's it called? Accepted ratio, reject to accepted ratio. So starting off with the 3060, again, this is one of the cooler cards. It's at 38.54 mega hash on Ethereum, 39 degrees. It's pulling 98 watts. The fan I set it at 75. The core 1430. Memory 2200, and the power limit 125. You'll probably notice a pattern. None of my cards actually hit any of the power limits, but sometimes with Hive, to get a higher mega hash, for some reason you have to increase the power limit a little bit for it to kind of jump up between 1 or 2 mega hashes more. So that's something that I just noticed, and a few other YouTubers. For the 3070, so this is the gigabyte. This is the biggest one that I got. It's at 60.77 mega hash on Ethereum and 41 degrees. So if you're to compare to all the other 3070s, you'll notice that it's way cooler. The only thing is, it's probably the one of the worst cards to overclock. You would think that with the Master series, you're able to overclock it, to its full potential, but to its fullest potential. But this is probably, it's just one mega hash lower than the other 3070s. But this is kind of a disappointment because I spent maybe $100 or $200 more on this specific card compared to the others. But anyways, it's pulling 116 watts, 75 fan, 1085 on the core, and the memory is 2200 with a power limit of 137. It will never hit 137 like I mentioned before, but it's just there so I could get the most hash rate on Hive OS. So this is the Asus 3070. This is my best performing one. Sometimes it goes to 62 or 63 mega hash. Right now it's at 61.76. It's 47 degrees. 120 watts that's pulling, 75 on the fan, 1085 on the core, and 2450 on the memory, 135 power limit. I could increase the gigabyte 2200 memory to what I have here for the Asus. I can make it 2450, but it just becomes unstable, and I just find what I have right now is the best overclocks for each card. And then for the Zotac, this was the smallest of the card. It has probably the worst cooling, and it's literally half the size of the Gigabyte, but it's pulling 61.56 mega hash, 47 degrees, and 112 on the from the wall, 75 fan, 1085 on the core, 2400 memory, and power limit 135. So that's what I have for my first rig. It is doing approximately 222 mega hash on Ethereum. Sometimes it does go to 225, and it's pulling around 450 watts. So let's go over to my second rig. So this is the one with the LHR cards. So the Gigabyte 3080 Ti and the 3070 EVGA XC3. So this has also been pretty stable. So we're getting around 133, 132 mega hash on Ethereum. So the 3080 Ti, it's making around 86.63 mega hash. 53 degrees. This does jump up to 55. So it just depends. When it hits 89 mega hash, that's when the temperature is usually around 55-ish. The thing with LHR cards is the mega hash fluctuates way more than normal full hash rate cards because it is auto tuning for you. So we're getting 268 watts. This can jump up to 300. That's why I really want the HP server power supply. But so far it's okay. It's manageable. It does get pretty hot. 85 on the fan. So this is the highest fan that I've ever added to a card. Usually I just put it um, 75 or lower, but this specifically because otherwise it gets to around 60 degrees. 1300 on the core, 2750 on the memory, and 305 for the power limit. I just put 305 just in case because it does, hit 300 sometimes. For the EVGA 3070, it's around 44 mega hash, 40 degrees Celsius temp, pulling around 105 watts, 75 fan, 1150 core, memory 2550, and the power limit 135. So yeah, that's my farm for now for my two rigs. It's around 6 cards. So playing 355 mega hash on Ethereum, 832 watts. I always think of it as 900 watts from the wall, just to incorporate some of the variables and also the motherboard as well. So around 900 or 950 watts. So yeah, that's my rig for now. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Again, hopefully when I add more cards to my mining rig, I'll make update videos. And yeah, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.